Yeah, we just went live.
Hello, hello.
Hello. So how's it going, Manny? Yep.
I think this is my fault. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
All right, good.
Oh,
What do you got? Hardware lab in the back there?
No, I've been rearranging my office and yeah, it everything got piled on that desk. So
Literally looks like
yeah.
a lab.
I don't have lights in front of me either or the window anymore, so I'm a little dark on my face too.
So you've been demoted to the garage in your own home?
No, I had a neighbor that I helped move and she was getting rid of these desks, and so I grabbed them and put them in my office, and I've been moving stuff onto them. They have a lot more storage and stuff in them, but yeah, anyway, just kind of been a little bit crazy. Wasn't something I was planning on working on, but it's nice because I have a much nicer workspace to work in, and I have all my books just right here. And anyway, it's really nice. So
nice. So what's going on, man?
Not too much.
July is here.
July is here.
The new quarter has begun.
Yep.
Has begun, not begin.
Yeah.
New quarter has begun.
Yeah, just back into it. Yeah, I had a couple people drop out of the coaching. So yeah, one of them, his girlfriend lost a contract, and so he basically said that he needed the money to make rent. So he's like, look, as soon as we get that figured out, I'll come back. The other guy, I keep telling him what to do, and he hasn't been doing it. And then he's telling me that he's not sure how it's going to help his business. And I'm going, I'm like, well, and so I'm explaining to him how it's going to help him find clients and how it'll help him connect to his clients. And anyway, he wasn't really listening, and so then he pulled out because he wasn't getting the value out of it. So
yeah, one of the things with coaching is like you have to deliver the value pretty quickly.
Yeah,
you lose people if they don't feel like they're getting that result in the first 30 days. But the problem is with something like what you're doing, you're starting them fresh from basically no business and no podcast or anything, and now you have to get them results, and it's very hard to create that for people like that initially compared to someone who already has a business. When you can do just a few things and the dial moves very quickly.
Yeah, I have been thinking about that actually, because I've been thinking, you know what, if I can get them to getting what they want, or get them to where they feel like they're getting what they want, right? They're anyway, if they get a sense of progress and they can see the light at the end of the tunnel within a month or two, I think I can keep them in. And so I've been thinking about restructuring a little bit some of this stuff, because I think I can push people to get their podcast launched pretty fast, and then just start working them on, okay, here's the system for finding guests. Here's how you line up, and get them lined up with a bunch of guests or a bunch of topics or a bunch of whatever. And then
what you need is quick wins of progress, which could mean the 60-day podcast launch roadmap. And within 60 days, you will literally launch your podcast or something like that, right? So they can really dive in and start doing those things and start seeing some results for them. Otherwise, they are going to start to question everything.
Right. And then I can put them on a 30 or 60 day, get your ideal customers, here's how you attract them, and here's how you know that you're getting the right people.
I mean, there's the podcast launch, then there's the podcast growth.
A
lot of different things. You can literally, I mean, one of the things, what you're providing is coaching, but there's plenty of templates out there for
Yeah.
podcast launch per se, but what you're providing is the overall like guidance to make it all
Right.
happen.
Well,
So
and I think if I roadmapped out to, that outcome that they want, where it's, you know, getting more freelance clients, which is I've had 3 or 4 people in for that, and I just say, okay, we're going to do the podcast launch roadmap, and then we're going to do the podcast growth roadmap, and then we're going to do the, get consistent results with target audience roadmap.
yeah,
I think if people saw that structure, I think it'd be a different thing.
yeah. You need to start showing them. I think what's now happening is you've gotten to the point where
I've talked them
different people,
through it,
yeah,
right? I've got the content figured out. I've got the roadmap figured out. I just need to give them a structured K. This is what you're doing, right? And give them something they can go back to it, and say, okay, what do I do next, right?
yeah. I wouldn't spend I think this is straightforward in some ways. The more like the part of it is like, okay, this is the roadmap, and now depending on where you are on the roadmap, I'll give you guidance and support on every call.
Right.
And different people probably will be in different stages of that roadmap.
Yeah.
But people need something to grab onto, unless it's more of a open business coaching, kind of like what I do, which is more of, and the reason why I don't like to deal with newbies is exactly what you went through.
Right. Yeah. Well, the other thing though is that
I don't like to have to deal with newbies who aren't yet making money, because then it's very difficult to get them any results right away.
Yeah, but the thing is I think if I can say, hey, look, this is the roadmap, this is the time frame, because I get asked about that all the time too, right? Where it's this, so this is the time frame if you're starting out fresh. We're going to spend 2 months launching your podcast, 2 months growing your podcast, and then 2 months, building your business on top of it, or figuring out what your people want so that you can give them a product, right? And then we're going to spend another month or 2 building the product, so it's an 8-month process. And if you've already launched your podcast, then you get to skip the first 2 months and we'll just work on growth next. Or if you've already got a decent sized audience, right, you can just drop in at if I can give people that kind of a structure and say, okay, this is where we're going to be at, and then just kind of say, okay, look, you're doing these parts of the framework, but you're missing this and this in the coaching, that's a different conversation, right? Because it's like, okay, you need to plug in these pieces. And I think if I had that together, I don't know that I necessarily need to like build out courses for all of this, but at least have, all right, here's this piece of the framework. Yeah. Here's the checklist. Here are some templates, go, right?
Exactly. You need checklists and templates to make this happen, not necessarily a complete course build out.
No.
That's not the point of the mastermind per se, or the group coaching per se, to give the whole course. I mean, you could do that, but that would just take you away from, depends on what the end result is being promised and what you are helping them with. Is everyone coming to launch a podcast? Is that what's going on?
That's what I've been selling.
Yeah, but is every person in the mastermind there to launch a podcast?
I've had a couple people that were more interested in YouTube.
No. I'm saying people who have sold, who are in the mastermind right now, are all of them launching a podcast?
Yeah.
They all are. They don't have a podcast and they're in the process of building a podcast.
Yes.
So in that case, you actually do need to provide, start with the most basic content, but start building it up, maybe with the most basic.
Yeah, I've done some videos for them, and it's all in Teachable, but I need to nail it down. I need to do some of that just for my own team anyway. And I have some of that stuff for my team. It's just, it's very specific to the way we do things. And so I need to not generalize it, but, take out the, log into devchat.tv or, stuff like that.
Yeah. So I think, I think you need that
Yeah.
to get the process rolling, to get the process started. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I agree.
So that's kind of where I've come to as well. But then I can also just tell people, hey, look, if you're brand new, then this is, the process is going to take about this long, right? And then just let them know I've had some people like, they already had a company, they had some people working for them that could do some of the work and they got it done faster, right?
Yeah.
I've had some people where, they don't have anything else really going on in life other than I want to spend a few hours with my girlfriend every night. And so they
Mhm.
got it done faster. And then I've had people who, they kind of have all of the other regular life stuff. Like, they
Mhm.
have a family, they're running a business, they're doing all this other stuff. And so, it took them a couple of months.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so within a couple of months, you'll have it. And if you want to shortcut it, then we'll help you find the right people to get it done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's the approach here for us to.
Yeah.
But slowly but surely, you do need to, like, if the promise of
Hmm.
this whole experience is to help them launch a podcast and build a business as a result, then yeah, you will need to create content around the topic.
Right. Yeah.
There are different coaching programs and different masterminds have different purposes. In this
Hmm.
case, if it's the podcast roadmap to help people build their career, then or
Yeah.
build their business using the power of podcasting in the software space. Yeah, because it's so specific and you're getting a lot of newbies, which is always going to be the case in your case,
Hmm.
because unless you target someone who has an established business, it's a different game altogether, right? Or
Yeah.
unless you target someone who has, like, it's very hard to find software developers right now who have an established podcast, who are looking to help to grow the podcast. That's probably not
Right.
a market there for that. There might be always, but
There might be, but I'm guessing that those are going to be more like the small businesses who are establishing a podcast to, so the consulting firms and places like that, that
yeah, I mean,
it's like, hey, I can help you grow and, get what
yeah,
you want. But
yeah, you can help people grow. Like starting a podcast is a different thing. Growing a
yeah, it
podcast is a
is.
different thing.
Yeah.
Making money off of a podcast is a different thing.
Hmm.
You can say that, like in your mastermind, you're going to teach them all the steps, 1, 2, 3. But
Yeah.
you could basically break in at any of those steps and say, I only want to deal with helping people monetize their podcast. But then
Hmm.
you are in a very small bucket of people who are out
Yeah.
there, software developers who already have a podcast and who are looking to monetize that. Then you're
Right.
going to struggle to find clients, I think. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Might be, yeah, it's probably going to be more difficult to find that audience because it's going to
Yeah.
be a very small set of people who are looking to, like, who already have a launched podcast and now they're like wondering, what do I do next?
Right.
The opportunity is the business opportunity that you're selling, is the podcast is the business opportunity, and that's why people are coming. But in the other case, it's more like you already have the business started, let me help you grow it,
Hmm.
which is a totally different game, a much smaller
Yeah.
audience. So yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think
Yeah.
that is a big enough audience to deal with.
No, I don't know that it is either. It might be something that I could see after coaching a number of people to start their podcast, grow their podcast, and do all this stuff. I could see them connecting with other people who just need more focus on the growth or on the some of the other stuff, or turning it, monetizing it or stuff, and then
Mm-hmm.
have them start to come back to me and,
Mm-hmm.
have some
Mm-hmm.
kind of not group coaching, but just, one-on-one coaching with some of those folks to help them just,
You
push it
should
through or
actually
get them in.
you should borrow your marketing from some of the people who are already in this space doing this work. Just change, like,
Oh,
they're
who do it
selling.
generically. podcast coaching.
Yep, exactly. Borrow your marketing from those people.
Yeah. I
So,
know several of these people already. So
yeah,
I could definitely go look at that. And yeah.
go look at their podcast
Hmm.
sales pages.
Yeah.
Um,
Most of them sell courses, though. Some of them do sell coaching,
it doesn't matter.
but
The
yeah.
the idea is the same.
Right.
Even if
Yep.
they sell course or coaching, what they're communicating is what's important.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But yeah, that's kind of the direction I've been thinking about anyway. So
Mm. Yeah.
yeah, I can definitely connect on that, and then just talk to people about where they want to end up and stuff like that. So
Yeah. Yeah. This is,
yeah.
this is the draw of, this is the fun of business, kind of
Yep.
the requirement that we make one thing work
Yep.
well. And
Yep. So yeah, but I mean that's pretty much it. I've got that roadmap actually on my 12-week year already. I just need to hammer it out, and I was supposed to get it done this week on the 12-week year, but it's been nuts. I honestly I think I'm gonna take a day or two off next week and just.
I thought you were already getting 4th of July off.
Well, I get the 5th off because the 4th is Sunday,
Right.
but I've got to do some family stuff on that day, and yeah, when I get a day off from work, the expectation is that I'll spend it with my wife and kids. So I might get up early and hit it. But yeah.
Lots of work coming your way.
Yeah. And I've been so flippin' tired these last couple of weeks, and I'm not sure exactly what's driving that either. I know my allergies have been acting up, and that's part of it. Because it's rough on me that way, but
allergies will do that to you.
I don't think that's the whole story. I think some of the rest of it is just the working out and everything else that I've kind of taken on. So, and I'm getting really tired of my full-time job. So,
Do you have a plan now at Thais?
not formally. I mean, essentially,
you don't have to talk about it here.
Well, I know how much I have to have as far as like income and in the bank, but I guess the issue becomes, how to get there, and I don't know if this coaching, this group coaching or whatever is going to be what gets me out of the hole or not, especially since I lost a couple of folks. And I don't know if there are other avenues that I should be looking at, but I feel like if I split my attention too much, then none of them are really going to work out. And so I feel like I need to just chase this down until it's painfully obvious that it's not going to work.
Oh shit, man. You already have had like what, 6, 7 people? Now you have 5 or what?
Yeah, I've got 3 people in right now.
Okay.
So,
yeah,
but I think if I offer the structure, I think it makes it more attractive, right?
Well, in the marketing, it may or may not even be obvious to someone when they're joining that that's what it is. But
right.
Yeah, it probably helps with retention.
Mm-hmm.
But you cycle through what, 8 or 10 people in this now?
Yeah, something like that.
So that tells us that there's a market. Like you've already gotten 8 or 10 paying clients out of this.
Yep.
Which is good. So
yeah, that's true.
Something else is to be fixed.
Mm-hmm.
Like
the
part of the challenge with business is we can't keep going from one thing to the next
right.
As soon as the thing stops working or slows down, because if we do that, we never really get anything working.
Right. That's true. And everything's going to go through that cycle.
Everything will require that pain period of like, okay, it's not working or slowed down, and what do I do now?
Yeah.
How do I get customers now? How do I get clients now? Like every freaking
Yeah.
like right now with Focus Blocks, I am kind of like, okay, well, how do we grow it now? Like I'm trying to figure out different avenues for
Hmm.
growth, and it's no matter how simple the concept is, no matter how easy the concept is, it's so freaking interesting that
Yeah.
even something as simple as this takes so much time to like so much marketing to sell and to explain and to get people
Right.
to understand what it is. And like shit, man, like I've written what 10 versions of the sales page already,
Hmm.
and it's still like I don't feel
Yeah.
like we're at the optimum conversion. I show the sales
Right.
page to people and they're like, it feels like, is this a training program? Is this a course? Like initially, that's the first
Hmm.
impression I get from people. And I'm like, fuck. I mean, why am I not able to communicate something as basic as this to people?
Right.
It's not a course. It's not a training program. It's a live co-working session,
Hmm.
right? And it's so
Yeah.
hard to freaking even communicate that on the sales page. So no matter what business you undertake, there's always going
Yeah.
to be that struggle
Yeah. I
to break
agree.
through. We have like 150 customers right now, and like I was hoping we would have more than that by now, but
Hmm.
that's where it is today. That's cool, right? It's time to
Yep.
grow it and run ads and all those things. That's like running ads is the biggest avenue right now in front of me that I'm looking at, or that I've already been working.
Hmm.
We already have ads running, but to scale it and all that stuff,
Right.
and all the sales page improvements and things like that. It's it's a it's a it's a grind. No matter
Yep.
what it is, it takes time, it takes effort, it takes a lot of like figuring out. Because if I just said, oh, either this will just fly or this won't, then I'm just basically never going to make through anything.
Right.
All right. So that's like, it's almost like you must commit. Like that's the requirement that every business has for you.
Yep.
Say, okay, I will do it no matter what. Right. I will do it no matter what is the base requirement for you. So the
Yep.
question is, will you commit to making this a business like the mastermind thingy or the helping people launch a podcast thing for software developers? Are you going to commit to that as being your business, or are you going to commit
Yep.
to sponsorships as your business, or are you going to like that's
Right.
already in the works? But which of these like things are like maybe both of these things are what you will continue to work on, but is there something else now you're thinking of because you're thinking, okay, this is not working as well as I wanted, so maybe I should do this?
Hmm.
Is that what you're going through?
No, I wasn't feeling like, oh, I should go chase these other things. It was just mostly I was looking at it and going, okay, what do I need to do at this point in order to get this to work? Because honestly, yeah, I basically need, to pay myself and pay the business expenses and everything else, at least $15,000 a month
Mm-hmm.
coming in.
Mm-hmm.
And, I've got some of that coming off of sponsorships, but the sponsorships are kind of a little here and a little there.
Mm-hmm.
I have one sponsor, they committed to quite a bit more than that, but then they had the guy I was talking to, his boss changed and she requires a more rigorous process. And so I'm still waiting to get paid
Mm-hmm.
um, on that one. But, I lined up sponsorship from another company and that, so that was a bit of income. And so, yeah, it's just figuring out these pieces, but also um, I feel like I need to have, at least, 3 or 4 months worth of money in the bank so that if things slow down at all, I can keep rolling and
Mm-hmm.
then replenish it when I have the income come back.
Mm.
So, I don't think it'll all drop away at once like it did, in 2019, but
You mean 2020?
no, it was 2019.
Oh, okay. When the sponsorships started to go away.
Yeah, when the idiots on Twitter came after me and chased all my sponsors off.
Mm-hmm.
Um if I have the coaching going and things like that, like I said, I don't think it's all going to drop off. I might have,
Mhm.
if something like that happened again, I could see one or two of my coaching clients saying, "Oh, I heard about this thing and I'm out."
Yeah.
But I don't think it'll be all of them. And then the other thing is that if I have sponsorships and stuff, going, and some of that drops off too, again, it's not the end of the world, right? And so 3 months worth of money can probably get me through 6 months or so if half of my income goes away,
Mm.
until I build it back up. But I didn't have any buffer whatsoever, and that was part of the problem.
Yeah, you need to. Yeah, you need the buffer, and you need to
And then I need to have
hustle on the
recurring income.
like you need to hustle on sales and marketing. I'm not even
Yeah.
sure how much time you're spending on sales and marketing in any of your
Not as
coaching
much as I
programs.
want.
But if you were to evaluate all of June last year, how much time did you spend on sales and marketing last year?
Oh, not
Last
not
month.
nearly enough.
Last month.
Not nearly enough. Last
No,
month.
no, no. Last month. No, no, no. Not nearly enough isn't really a metric. What's
Yeah, I
the?
know.
Not even. Don't even look at last month. Month is a lot. Last week.
Oh,
This
this
week.
last week?
This week.
This week?
Yep.
I've probably spent 3 or 4 hours.
3 or 4 hours, or 3 or 4?
Probably 3.
3 hours. And was it in focus blocks, or was it more like a random time here and there?
Some of it was focus blocks. I think I put
Mhm.
in one focus block on it, and then some of it was just here and there.
Yeah. So one focus block and then a couple of random hours, which
Yeah.
don't usually count too much most of
Right.
the time, unless it's focus time, right?
Yeah.
Unless it's block time, it's just not as effective. So
Yeah.
would you say that's probably what happened last week as well? Like 1 or
Yeah.
2 hours on marketing and
Yeah,
sales?
probably.
Yeah.
And that's the problem.
That's the
I mean,
problem. Like if there is no marketing or sales, there isn't really much you can do in the
yeah.
business. You don't really have much of a
Yeah, and I know that this last
need for
week was
sales.
just,
Well, that's why I'm asking.
sometimes it's really tough to get
I
any
will
of it
I
to
will
come
exclude
together.
last week, but if you look at the week before, like,
Yeah.
do you have a consistent number in mind as to how much you're doing? How much are you expending in sales and marketing?
Right. And
Do
that's
you
what I
know?
need to do is I just need to commit to, a certain number of hours put in on it. I haven't tracked it.
You think it's 2 hours a week is what you usually do? Even in June,
No.
even in May? 3
So like
hours
the first weeks in June, I probably put in 4 or 5 focus blocks.
a week on marketing and sales. Dude, here's the thing, like, and this is something I say to everyone in my coaching program all the time. You've been there, I've talked about it all the time. At this stage of business, marketing and sales is everything to you,
Yep.
to your
Yep.
business. So everything else is good, but marketing and sales is where the money comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else is just like keeping the business alive, but without marketing and sales, you don't really have.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. If you spend 2 hours or 3 hours on marketing every week, how much total time did you spend on the business during those hours or during those weeks?
I honestly don't even know.
But take a guess. Take a guess.
I mean, the last 2 weeks have been not great. Before that, maybe 8, 9 hours.
So what percent of your total time is being spent on marketing and sales?
About 2/3.
2/3? 66% of your time is spent on marketing and sales?
Yeah, on the weeks that I got like 8 or 9 focus blocks in, I spent 4 or 5 focus blocks on.
Okay. Well, before focus blocks, I'm just like trying to figure out if that's generally the case. Like, are you spending 60-70% of your time on sales and marketing? If you spend, I would say that if you spend 20 hours a week on sales and marketing, that's when this business can actually grow.
That's fair.
20 hours a week on sales and marketing, because
I need to figure out where those 20 hours are going to come from, though.
You need that time.
Yeah.
You need that time, because no matter what you do, if your input isn't there on sales and marketing, everything else is just like you can.
Yeah.
If you can't put in the work on sales and marketing, you can't really have a business that's humming and making money for you.
Yeah.
Right? So I would say for everyone who's listening out there, if you have a 6-figure business, you need to be spending at least 50% of your time on sales and marketing. At least 50% of your time on sales and marketing.
Hmm.
Seriously, like at least. What I mean by that, it should probably be more.
Yeah.
Because if you're not spending that much time on sales and marketing and you're busy with operations and content and creation and creating products and services and things like that, that's all great. But that doesn't really move the dial in your bank
Right.
account. That will
No,
not
that
bring
makes
you,
sense.
that will not ring in the cash register any given day. So if your business is making 6 figures today, you need to do two things. You need to get out of the weeds of the business,
Uh-huh.
which is to hire people to do everything that is outside. Like you need to basically get rid of everything so that you can focus on sales and marketing. That's how
Right.
extreme it has to go at some point in order to get to the next level. Like the 6 figures to multiple 6 figures and beyond is the journey of like letting yourself out of everything and forcing yourself to just focus on sales and marketing.
Right.
Because fulfillment, it's important, but that's just the one call a week or 2 calls a week that you're doing.
Hmm.
Beyond that, anything you're doing, man, it should be, yeah.
Yeah.
So
No, that makes sense.
6-figure business, I need to see 20 focus blocks of sales and marketing in your calendar. That's what I would say.
All right.
Every 6-figure business owner needs to have 20 focus blocks on their sales and marketing calendar. 20 blocks of time every single week for sales and marketing.
I don't know if I can get 20 blocks in. I think I can get 10.
Well, that's a good start. I mean, I'm just pushing your boundary here.
Yeah.
And I know you have other obligations, so you may not have the same, but I'm talking to everyone who's listening here.
Yeah.
If you have a 6-figure business, you need 20 focus blocks a week on sales and marketing. Most people, they call it sales and marketing and they're twiddling their thumbs and spending time on Instagram and Facebook and clicking on this and that. And that's not sales and marketing, my friend. Sales and marketing is aggressively, creating email promotions, creating marketing calendars, creating marketing systems and affiliate promotions,
Right.
and advertising and managing campaigns and all those things. That is sales and marketing. So
Yep.
at least 50%, and I would say all the way up to 80% of your time spent on sales and marketing is when you actually will see breakthroughs.
Right.
And that means at least 10 hours.
That makes sense.
20, 30 hours to get real breakthroughs in your sales and marketing.
Yep.
I know I'm
Sounds
making
good.
it sound very simplistic, but it really is that simple for business owners out there. Anyone who comes to me and says, okay, I'm not making money. Anyone who's like, oh yeah, I'm struggling to make income in my business. I'm stuck at like 40, 50, 60K, 70K, something like that. I want to get to 200K, whatever. The first thing I'm going to look at is how much marketing they're doing, how much sales they're doing. And most of the time the answer is right there. They're not doing enough marketing and sales. They're way too focused on doing writing a blog post, creating more content, creating more content is marketing, but content marketing by itself is not marketing enough to get the last mile.
Right.
The last mile needs content with call to action that actually converts to a sale.
Yeah.
Right? Content with the intention of sale is what that marketing finally comes down to, especially if you have a product that you're trying to sell. If all you are is a YouTuber who is banking on YouTube's ad revenue, which they will take away from you one day, or they will shut down your channel one day. I mean, they will just, I remember John talking about Pluralsight back in the day. We used to talk about it. John was making $400,000-$500,000 a year from Pluralsight, and now it's down to what?
They cut him off.
Year? Yeah, $5,000 a year on Pluralsight. From all the way from $500,000 to $5,000 in just a matter of a few years. Why? Because they just changed their terms and conditions and they just decided, oh, we don't need to pay our creators as much.
No, they cut him off. They cut him
off
during that.
It's all sorts of things. Like they can do whatever they want. It's the truth of these big.
Yes, that's the reality
of these big platforms out there. So anyone who's dependent on anyone who tells me, "Oh, I'm a YouTuber and YouTube is my business," I'm like, okay, that's not a business. It's a good hustle for the time being. Go keep doing it until
Hmm.
it blows up, and then you actually will need to start building a real business where you actually sell a product or a service to make money. Because
Yep.
being a YouTuber or spending like hoping that YouTube will pay your income for the rest of your life is just a very dangerous proposition for any business
Yeah.
owner. But that
It's true.
said, anyone who actually is a real business owner, that means you have a product that you're selling,
Hmm.
you have to spend at least 50% of your time on sales and marketing, if not more. And I would say more than that.
Yep.
So put your
Yeah, that's
focus,
fair.
dude, Chuck, let's schedule your focus blocks right now. Put them in your calendar for sales and marketing. Like you literally have to put it on the calendar. Sales and marketing, sales and marketing, sales and marketing, sales and marketing, sales and marketing for the rest of the week. That's the only way it will
Yeah.
get done. If you put 10 focus blocks into the calendar for sales and marketing, I bet you will have a much more money making week this week.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And that's, I mean, honestly, that's what I was actually looking at doing. So, I usually use the Calendly thing, but I think what I'm going to do, because I think focus blocks in the information that you have in there, it
Yeah.
also just has the, hey, here's the
Link.
link for the
You can
month.
use, yeah, you can
And
just
so
use the
then I
link.
can just put I can just put them in.
Yeah. The Calendly just makes it a little more formal, makes it like, okay, scheduled, time to go.
Yeah.
I'll have it, I'll get a reminder, blah, blah, blah. But if you don't want it, just put it in the calendar. And now it's 24 hours a day. Boom. Monday
Yep.
through Friday, 24 hours a day, GMT time. So
Well,
just,
24 hours a day, it doesn't matter what time zone.
it is because Sunday night, it starts at 5 p.m.
Oh, okay. So
And Friday
it's
night,
not 7 days a week.
it's 5 days a week.
Okay.
5 days a
That
week.
makes
So
sense.
120 hours a week right now.
Yeah.
And no, so Saturday and Sunday we do bonus focus blocks. So we do like around 5-6 hours on Saturdays and Sundays most days.
Yeah.
But right now the commitment is 24 hours a day, Monday to Friday. So Monday to Friday, anyone wants to do some deep focused work, you just log in. You don't have to do anything except for just jump into the Zoom live co-working session and boom, there you go.
Yep.
Get some work done. Let's go do it. So that's what it is now. It's
Yep.
exciting times for that. We should do a promotion. Let's
We
record
should.
it. Let's record it next week.
Yeah. I just put 9 blocks in my calendar for next week.
Oof, nice. Love it. That's good.
Yeah. I need to double check and see if they're doing swim team on Monday morning, because if they're not, then I can probably drop a couple more in there.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good, man. I like it. Those blocks will totally change your marketing and sales game.
Yep.
Yeah. That's what I like. One of the things I tell people is like, even one focus block is worth the money you invest for the whole month. Anything
Yeah.
else is cherry on top most of the times.
Yep.
Because it brings a level of intentionality when you're showing up for that work. It's like, whoop, I'm doing this work.
Yep.
What's been, yeah, what has it been like this week for you? You've been getting some good work done in focus blocks?
I think I put in like 2 focus blocks this last week.
Damn, man.
Yeah, it's been really tough this week. But I part of it is that I've just been exhausted, and so I haven't done it. It's harder for me to have the discipline to do it. But the other end of it is honestly that like work has just really been a slog and a push.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because for a little while there, it got to the point where I was like, it's not so bad going to work. But now every morning I get up and I don't want to go. I don't want to. And now they're talking about having us go into the office, which is, I mean, if you want me to get work done, that's going to be a complete disaster, because working at the office. Anyway, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah,
Yeah. Well, I hope it works out well for you and for the office.
Yeah.
Yeah. We should do a recording for Focus Blocks. Can you again drop me the link? For some reason I can't even find it. Where did you send it to me? Did you send it to me an email or what was it?
I don't remember.
There was an audio that you sent me. I'm like, where is it?
Yeah, there's the audio, or do you want the link to set up another recording? Did I send it in WhatsApp?
Just let me go take a look. Well, as long as you have the recording, if you can send it to me, whichever way you can send me, that would be great.
Yeah, I'll just send you an email and it'll have that link in there and the link to set up another bonus recording.
Yeah, please send it to me and I will. And also, what I would like for you to do before we get that call going is
Mm-hmm.
I want to do a 15-minute like check call with
Yeah.
you just to kind of talk through some of the elements and
Yeah.
how it has helped you so that you can actually
Yeah.
make sure you
I agree.
communicate that clearly in the in the in the bonus episode that we do, because that is crucial, being able to
Yep.
clearly explain what is working for you and why it's
Mm-hmm.
working and all those things and what's
Yep.
So it's like I'm excited just because you're putting in 10 blocks next week, and I hope you will follow through on those and get
Yeah. Well, I need to, one way or the other, I need to commit to doing at least 10.
Yeah.
And then we can kind of see from there, if there's some other
so there are
way to add more.
You either cut down time or you make time, right?
Yeah.
You cut away time, that is a never ending process.
Yeah, but the thing is if I can commit to 10 and just make it work, then I can start seeing, okay, you know what? I think I can pop another one over here, or I can figure out how to get another focus block or two in, because if I go from 10 to 12, that's more traction that I'm able to get. So
yeah. What time do you start your work days? Your work?
My full-time job work?
Yeah.
About 9 in the morning.
And what time do your family obligations start for you?
We do scriptures and stuff at 8. And then I have the swim team at 5 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And so the trick there is that it's from 5 to 6. So I get out of the pool at 6-ish. Sometimes it's a little later than that. Just depends on what's going on at the pool, right? Because there's a youth team that gets in right after we do. And so if they're there, then we get out right at 6. Otherwise, sometimes we're in the pool a little longer. Because sometimes they have swim meets and stuff, and our coach is like, we're taking another 20 minutes. But I can't do a 6 o'clock block on those days. So I can usually get home and be ready to go for a 7 o'clock block on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then Tuesday and Thursday, I get up at 4 anyway. And I usually do like reading scriptures and all that stuff. And I could do that on a focus block if I wanted.
Well, you can do whatever you want on a focus block, but the key is like getting your marketing and sales done, right?
But then 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 7 o'clock, I can do focus blocks that whole time.
Yeah. And you can even do them in the evenings now that they're available.
Yeah, the trick there is it depends on what's going on in the evening, because that changes from week to week. My wife goes and plays games with her friends on Thursday nights, right? So I put a couple of blocks in there. That actually got me to 11. And then I dropped one on my lunch hour on Wednesdays, because I don't have podcast recordings on Wednesdays. And so I usually I consume my lunch break onto a podcast, and then I just get on and work. So to get my hours in for the full-time job. So Wednesday has a focus block on it, so I'm to 12 now.
Yeah, that's the best thing, to just pre-plan your focus blocks for the week.
Yeah.
Because once you do that, you are committing to yourself,
Right.
and it's on your calendar. So you're going to start showing up more consistently for them
Yeah.
compared to
I
like
just,
ad hoc thinking about it on a day-to-day basis.
yeah. So now what I need to do is I need to sit down and actually say, okay, this focus block's going to be this, and this focus block's probably going to be this.
Yeah. Or you can just map out the week saying these are the things I want to accomplish this week.
Right. And then just start with the top priority thing and work
And
through
then
them.
just put them into like that, to that level of granularity. Sometimes people do it, but then by the time it hits them, then they are moving on to the next thing and things like that.
Yeah.
So what I have found is like you just map out, okay, I need 10 hours this week and I need to knock off 3 tasks this week or 4
Yeah.
tasks this week. And then you start to just attack them in focus blocks. And
Yeah.
you basically get 20 hours of work done in those 10 hours in focus blocks. That I know for sure.
Yeah. Yep.
Right.
Yeah. What I found though is that if I get 2 or 3 focus blocks in a row, if I like the second or third one, I am really clicking. I'm moving along through stuff. So
yeah. That's like, dude, we have like, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Like how many people are communicating the exact same thing. As in, I get 2 hours of work done in 1 hour consistently because it's just so freaking focused. So well designed for deep focus. So, if you were to express, if a friend asked you what is focus blocks and you had one sentence to explain it, what would you say?
I would probably just explain to them that it is blocked out focus time where I can effectively and efficiently get much more work done than I could get done in any other way, because it removes the distractions and just allows me to do one thing at a time.
Okay. But then the person is thinking, and I'm just asking this because I'm trying to figure out some of our marketing pieces here. When you say, okay, it's blocked out time that I can sit down to do my best work, they're thinking, oh, I can block it out on my calendar. Why do I need this focus block thing?
Well, that's the other part of it, is that I've done that before. And I would never stick to my commitment, right? But if I put it on there and I know that other people are going to be on there, right? I feel like I've kind of committed to them that I'm going to show up, even though if I don't show up, they're not going to notice. But for me, it just kind of adds that level of accountability that's enough for me to actually make sure that I do it. Right.
So it's the accountability of showing up combined with the focus time there. So again, if I were to ask you,
it's also the accountability to not wander off and do other stuff
while you're in there.
Yeah.
Because someone is thinking, they're like, oh, I can do all this by myself. All the stuff that you're talking about, Manny, I can do it myself. I can schedule a time on my calendar. I can make sure I have no distractions. I can make sure I work for 50 minutes at a time, or, whatever, 45 minutes for a time, or whatever it is. Why would I do focus blocks? So what is it in marketing terms, as I'm trying to understand this from you? How would you explain it to someone who's like, dude, I can do all of this by myself?
Well, I guess the big thing there is that I've coached people on careers, on all kinds of stuff, right? On building a podcast, stuff like that. And they can go do it all by themselves. And there's literature out there that will explain to them step by step how to do it. They don't, right? They don't. And the reason is because there's no system, no framework that they're committed to sticking to, right? There's no structure, right? And I'm not talking about the structure of do this, then do this, then do this. It's actually structure of I'm going to go in and I'm going to put my info in and commit to this, right? And so when I coach them into doing this stuff, the difference is that I'm there to push them along and provide that structure. You need to do this week. You need to do this week. You need to do this week. And focus blocks is the same thing. It's effectively you have a list of things that you need to get done. And so here's the structure that it's going to fall into so that you can get it done. And then while you're on, here's the structure for, put your phone away, do some breathing exercises to clear your mind. You're going to leave your camera on so people know you're not dinking around on your phone. And it's not so that you're not getting in trouble. It's just you have all the structures in place so that you can get into the right space to get it done, and you're going to show up. And so what it really is it's a structured methodology that you can commit to on a regular basis in order to get stuff done and to be doing it without distractions and without losing focus and without, doing all of the other stuff that's going to derail you if it's just you that's holding you accountable.
Yeah. It's the structure and the accountability.
Yeah.
So do you think Focus Blocks is a community? Is that what it is first and foremost? Or do you think Focus Blocks is a live co-working session? Like, how would you put it if you were to simplify it?
I don't really think of it as a community. I don't really necessarily think of it as a live co-working session either, right? For me, it really is just, how do I put it? I mean, it's almost like having somebody just show up and, sit you down and walk you through the process of getting to work, right? It's almost like having a get to work coach, if that makes sense, right? Because literally you show up and the focus guide's like, okay, what are you going to get done? Right. And so I make a commitment right there. This is what I'm going to get done. Or if it's not what I'm going to get done, I'm at least going to make some serious headway on it. Right. And then it's okay. We're going to go through the process of, putting all the distractions away, your mental distractions, your physical, your phone, your other physical distractions, right? You're going to close your door. So you go through all the steps and you do it every hour, and then you work on the thing you committed to do. And the only time I really ever lose focus during focus blocks is when I don't commit to enough and I'm sitting there going, okay, what's the next thing? And I'm not quite sure where to go. But it's interesting because usually even on those, like the first half hour, 40 minutes, right? If I get done with my task early, I'm like, yeah, I'm in the zone because I committed to that one thing. Right. And then usually I'll go to my to-do list and I'll pull it out. Most of the time it's a fully focused block, even if I wind up working on something I didn't commit to at the beginning. But yeah, there have been one or two where it was like, okay, what do I do next? Well, I have these 6 things, right? And that's where I have 6 things I could do. And, and I kind of pick all of them. Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, the rest of it, I mean, honestly, it literally is just somebody walking me through, hey, look, this is how you have the most productive hour. That's what I'm paying for.
Yeah.
Right. Is for me to make the commitment on my calendar and then to show up and have somebody say, okay, this is how you're going to have a productive hour, and then just go through the steps.
But then someone's listening, they're thinking, okay, I can just have a worksheet of all of these things. Why do I need focus blocks?
It's different, because I've done that too. It's different because if I have a worksheet, I don't have anybody to turn it into. I don't have anybody to, check in on it, anything like that. Right. But on the focus block, I have a human being that is on the other end of the camera. Right. And so I see
not just
them,
one, but 10, 15 people on the camera.
Right. But basically I'm saying to all those people, I'm here and this is what I'm going to work on. And at the end, I want to be able to tell them I got it done. Right. I made the progress I committed to. Or if I didn't, I can at least say, hey, look, this is why I didn't get it done. And I want it to be a reasonable, like there was one focus block that I did where it was, I'm trying to remember exactly what it was, but I was trying to set something up, and like the account that I needed for the service that I needed to get that done, there was something wrong with it. right?
Mm.
And so I spent the first half hour just trying to figure out what was going on with it, right? And
Mhm.
so I didn't complete my task that hour, right? I didn't get it done. But when I got on, I felt justified in saying, I made half the progress I expected to, and I spent the other half of the time figuring out what was wrong,
Mhm.
right? And so nobody's going to fault me. And at the end of the day, I mean, I don't have anything to prove to any of those folks. But the fact that I had a report on it was enough for me to say, I better be able to tell these folks why I didn't get it done.
Mhm.
Right. And so I spent 20 minutes troubleshooting this thing, and then I spent a half hour doing the work. Right. And so my next focus block is going to be finishing that work and then working on the rest of the other stuff that I have on my list.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the deal, right? Is that I have if just having another person there, even though I don't know anything about them other than their name, and that
Mhm.
Manny's paying them to show up for an hour. Um,
The focus guide, you mean, not the customers.
yeah, the
Mhm.
focus guide. The fact that I'm telling the focus guide and the rest of the customers, this is what I'm here for, and then I have to report on it at the end.
Mhm.
That's enough accountability for me to actually get in and say, all right, let's do this, right?
Mhm.
And so it's that kind of process. So a checklist just wouldn't be enough,
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, if I go, oh, well, I'll just do better next time. And I've done this, right? I've watched myself do this. That's
Mhm.
the difference, is I know that uh, I've tried to hold myself accountable, and I'm not very good at it.
Yeah. It's the last mile of accountability, the
Yeah.
the minute to minute accountability, compared to, like, you can have an accountability coach, which is like once a week or
Yeah.
once a month, but that's got nothing to do, like, that's nowhere
Yeah.
close to what you get when you're like, shit, every minute I'm
Yep.
working, there are people around me and
Hmm.
I'm being held, to a high standard for that.
Yeah. Well, and I've got like a mastermind, right? That I'm a part of, that I talk to on Monday, and then I talk to you and John on Fridays, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you guys hold me accountable kind of at the higher level of, hey, what are you getting done, right? Are
Mm-hmm.
you delivering, week after week?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so that works there, right? The other mastermind, they tend to like to see my 12-week year, and
Mm-hmm.
and that kind of accountability. But then the other end of it is yeah, then getting down into, okay, what am I doing on a daily basis, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
hourly basis to accomplish this stuff? That's where focus blocks comes in, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, at the high level, um, these guys don't necessarily care how I'm getting that done, but they
Mm-hmm.
want to see the progress that I committed to over the week. But
Mm-hmm.
then I have to make the plan to get it done over the week. And that's where focus blocks comes in, because it bolts right into the bottom of that and says, all right, here's your engine for today, right? Or, here's your fuel for today. And
Mm-hmm.
you just get in and you get it done.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I have the accountability calls like this, or, like the calls on Monday, then I can show up and I can say, well, I put in the time and I did this much of what I planned on this week, and I can feel good about that. But if I have this high level view and I don't have the low level push that
Mm-hmm.
focus blocks gives, yeah, it's really hard for me to commit to the time that it takes to get that stuff done.
Mm.
That's the difference.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's it's like one of those things where we can talk all about productivity,
Hmm.
we can know all about productivity,
Yeah.
but as what you're explaining, this is the time to actually get the work done,
Hmm.
because the accountability makes it all actually happen,
Yeah.
rather
And
than.
really, just having other people there involved in it. I mean, even though it's just me saying I'm going to get this done, and then coming in and saying I got it done or I didn't,
Yeah.
that's enough. At least
Yeah,
for me, it's enough.
it is. It is indeed the case. It's a very yeah. Cool. Shall we do our thoughts?
Yeah, we probably should. It's about that time, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, I think for me, and this, I'd been thinking through this as well, the 10 focus blocks a week. that was kind of what I settled on. But I guess my thought is yeah, we're talking about it, and talking to Manny, it occurs to me, oh, I should put this on my calendar for next week now, so that I know which 10 focus blocks I'm going to hit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I guess the idea behind, it was just a next level of commitment, right? So what is that next level of commitment for you, right? So, the general commitment of 10 focus blocks a week, no, I needed to sit down and take the next level of commitment, put them in my calendar, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so then the next level of commitment after that is to show up to them, on those days and get them done.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so there's always a next level of commitment you can make, and you have to make that commitment all the way down the line, or you're not going to achieve what you want to achieve.
Yeah. I would say, like, yeah, micro commitments is basically what you're referring to here, all the way down to by the second.
Yeah, but you make the big commitments first, right?
Mm-hmm.
These are the big goals I want to reach.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is how much time I'm going to commit to them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is the next level of commitment. So for me, it's the 10 focus blocks.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, you make a further commitment at a deeper level.
Yeah.
Till you get to those micro commitments. But you have to start with the big idea.
Yeah. Yeah. My thought is that no matter where you are in business, well, I would say, especially if you are past the first 6-figure mark, you should be investing a lot of your time and energy on sales and marketing, and at least 50% or more.
Mm-hmm.
And you should be getting away from everything else so that you can invest more and more time on sales and marketing, because that will make you more money than anything else in the business will. So invest your time in sales and marketing. Once you're past that, even under 100K, I would say that's the case. But especially once you start making 40, 50K a year, you really need to ramp up your sales and marketing effort and just focus in on that and get shit done. And for those of you who are listening and wondering if you want to join Focus Blocks, it's FOCUSBLOCKIS.io to go check it out. You can sign up for a free 7-day trial. So check it out and see if it's for you.
Yep.
All right.
Totally worth it.
Yep. And hopefully Chuck and I will see you in the Focus Block work session soon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I've seen you on one for a while. I just, one of our schedules haven't lined
around
up.
6 a.m. or 7 a.m. my time, depending on the day. So 6 a.m. or 7 a.m.
Right. And yeah, if you hit 7 a.m. your time, that's when because I'm an hour later than you. Yep. That's when I'm doing scriptures and stuff with the kids. And
that's when you're
not on. Yep.
Yeah. All right. See you in more Focus Blocks this week.